What's going on, everybody? Dominic Caminata here on another Warrior Wisdom Walk. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's been a few days since I've recorded one of these walks, and this is my first Warrior Wisdom Walk of October. So hope everyone's got some great plans for the fall season. My wife and I, Kelly Caminata, we absolutely love the fall. It's a really beautiful time of year and kind of soaking in a little bit of summer-like weather that we have left. It's about 82 and sunny today here in Madison, Wisconsin. But today's Warrior Wisdom Walk is all about building trust with your prospects. So I always ask sales teams, what's the number one most important ingredient to any sale? And the most important ingredient to any sale, of course, is trust. And trust is much more important than likability. One thing I always mention when I'm doing sales trainings is you could probably recall people in your life that you like, you enjoy hanging out with them. Maybe you can have them over for a Packer game. If you're a Packers fan like me, you like them, but you wouldn't necessarily trust them to work on your house or trust them to watch your kids for the weekend or borrow money to them, right? With the expectation they're going to pay you back. So there's a big difference between like and trust. And of course, when we're talking about home improvements, when you're literally working on the number one investment in people's lives, the level of trust they have in you as a trusted advisor to take care of them has to be absolutely off the charts. Especially because in sales, if you think about what we do in home improvements, you're selling an unfinished good. You're selling nothing more than a fantasy because you're selling something that hasn't been made yet. And the only thing that guarantees the prospect satisfaction, the end result, is your crew's ability to deliver on all the promises that you made. And of course, they won't know that until many weeks after they buy from you, if your company actually delivers on your promises. So trust is the number one most important ingredient to any sale by far in home improvements. But how do you build trust with people? What's the formula? What's the framework? So we got a couple things that we train on at Grosso University. One thing I talk about in terms of building trust is demonstrating empathy in the house. So you've heard the quote a million times, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But truthfully, do you give a shit about your prospects or not? And are you demonstrating that with the way you ask questions, the way you truly listen, the way you make it about them and not about you? Do you take time to truly listen? I'm talking active listening to demonstrate that you truly care about them as a human being with a genuine concern and not just another commission, right? Are you walking into the home with the intention to serve, or are you just trying to sell them? Because sales is service, right? So empathy is absolutely fundamental because people have an innate desire to be understood. So when you're in the sales encounter, you got to make sure you're going out of your way to demonstrate to that homeowner that you're there to serve them, you truly care about them, you see them as a fellow human being, and that you're there to build a meaningful relationship, make them feel special, make them feel understood, make them feel important. You've heard me say this probably in other videos, but I just made two promises to myself before I went into every house. One was I'm going to give these homeowners the best presentation they've ever seen in their life. And number two is I'm going to make them feel like the most important people in the world. Make them feel special, make them feel heard and understood. And that carried me a long way in my sales career. So if you can just pull that off, demonstrate empathy, show people you truly understand them and that you care, they're going to have a lot easier time trusting you to their home improvement needs. So the next thing that we talk about in sales is authenticity. So I don't know if you guys do any research on this. I absolutely love this stuff. You know, I think it was Nikola Tesla. He's like, you want to know the secret to the world, you want to think of energy, vibration, and frequency, right? Well, nowadays, they've actually measured that all human emotions emit a certain vibration, a certain frequency. And the most powerful frequency of all emotions that we can transmit as human beings is authenticity. It's almost like we were designed to simply be true to who we really are. And we always say that most of your prospects have built-in BS detectors. They can tell when you're not being genuine, truthful, and authentic, right? Now, of course, you got to balance blending and adapting to your prospects, right? You got to be a chameleon in the house, but be authentic, be true to yourself. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. So authenticity truly does matter. And human beings can see right through that, right? They say, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes when people are lying, but you can definitely tell when they're not being genuine, truthful, and authentic to themselves. So, of course, we got empathy, demonstrating that you truly understand, being authentic. Now, I want to talk about authenticity a little bit more because a lot of salespeople have a hard time being authentic when they're first learning a sales process, right? So if you think about when you learn a script the first time, you sound like a robot regurgitating words. But I always talk about, like, when you look at Hollywood motion pictures, have you ever watched a film and there was a really emotional scene where the actor or actress was really delivering a script or a part of the film with such passion and emotion? Maybe the music was playing a certain way, and for one reason or the other, the scene brought you to tears. Well, you look at when actors and actresses first get the scripts for those movies, it's not like they can deliver with that level of passion, that level of emotion, that level of authenticity where they become that character, right? So it comes with practice, where when you know a script well enough, after mastering it, it becomes your voice. So when you first learn a sales process, it's obviously not going to be the easiest to come off as genuine and authentic. But when you keep working at it and you work on the 93% of communication, such as tonality, body language, facial expressions, tone, pitch, rate, all this stuff that we talk about that actually conveys the message to the prospect, now you're going to deliver a sales process and it's going to come off as genuine and authentic to yourself because it becomes your voice. So you can follow a system. You can be a systematic closer like I am, but also be genuine and authentic when you're in the house. The next thing we talk about in sales is a word that you don't hear thrown around enough, and that's integrity. You know, who are you when no one's watching? Are you honest? Do you have strong morals, ethics, right? Are you truthful? Are you a person that when you give someone their word, you honor your word? Does that mean something to you? So don't promise things you can't do. Don't lie to a prospect just to get a commission. Try to avoid exaggerating things to the point where you lose all credibility and integrity as a human being. Some salespeople get into the profession of sales and they give it a bad name because they do lie, they do exaggerate, they do stretch the truth in order to try to get a sale. So be truthful, have integrity. Again, what do you do when no one's watching? You're always on parade. Integrity is not something you can just turn on or off when you're in the home. It's a way of living, right? So be a person of your word, be a person of integrity. Make sure when you promise something, you deliver on it at all costs. And again, just be forthcoming, truthful, and honest to all your prospects. That's going to carry you a long way in your sales career. So if you can demonstrate empathy, you can demonstrate authenticity, and you can demonstrate high levels of integrity, because again, sales is high service. You're there to serve. So the commission is an inevitable byproduct of how many people you can help serve and support along the way, right? Like Zig Ziglar, you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want at the end of the day. So we talked about empathy, authenticity, and integrity. The last thing I want to talk about here is confidence. So we all know that confidence is fundamental in sales. But how do you get confident? So you get confident by being healthy. You get confident by being in physical good shape, taking care of your temple. So it's no secret that when you look great and you feel great, your confidence increases. All right? So what are you doing to get physically fit? Are you working out? Are you eating healthy? Are you eating clean? Are you taking care of your temple? Are you well groomed? You know, one thing I like to ask myself before I leave every house, or before I leave my house to run leads, is do I look and feel like I'm a top performer in my chosen profession? Do I feel optimal? So I found the better I look, the better I feel, the more confidence I have. Now, second to that is, are you confident in the master? Are you confident in the art of the in-home sale? Have you mastered the system to the point where you don't have to think? Because I find that if you're uncertain about what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to say, that'll hinder or hold back your confidence level tremendously. So master the system forwards and backwards. So I talk about the secret to happiness all the time. I say the secret to happiness is freedom. The secret to freedom is courage. The secret to courage is knowledge. So the more you know, the more courage and confidence you're going to have in what you're doing. And the whole point of this whole operation is the more confident you are in yourself and what you're doing, the more confident the prospects will be in buying from you and trusting you to their hard-earned money. Because ultimately, what is this all about? It's about being able to build trust with another human being. So again, when you go into a home, I want you to really think about being optimal in those 4 categories: demonstrating empathy, demonstrating authenticity, having high levels of integrity, right? Always put the needs, wants, and desires of your prospects first and foremost, paramount above anything else. Your commission will come over time, right? So don't be greedy. My mom always said that pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. So you can make plenty of money, you can make multiple six-figure income, but paramount to that is how many people can you serve and how well can you serve them, right? And then last but not least, be confident. And you gain confidence by taking care of your temple, being healthy, making sure you're working out, you're optimal, you feel great, you look great, you smell great, and then master the methodology. Study. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. So really take time to make this a true profession for yourself. Don't wild west, shoot from the hip and wing it, because you're gonna go into a house and you're gonna easily be thrown off. You're gonna easily lose control of your disruptive emotions. So the more foundationally strong you can be in mastering the system, you're going to be able to go into every house, hit the cruise control, and ride into a sale, and be able to build trust with people that other amateur salespeople otherwise will not. So I hope you enjoyed this Warrior Wisdom Walk. You can see I'm sweating here pretty good. It's a 60-pound pack again. I'm going to do a several-mile loop here. If you like these Warrior Wisdom Walks, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm looking to build this thing up. I'm going to share everything I know. It's going to be a nice slow drip, but as I said in my very first video, I got a lot of archived information stored up in this brain. I'm gonna try to dump as much wisdom as I can out in these Warrior Wisdom Walks, as of course I'm trying to take care of my temple and be optimal, because I'm looking to build my confidence level to the highest level. And as I mentioned in my first Warrior Wisdom Walk, I turned 40 this year, and I am not gonna be turning 40 soft. I'm gonna be getting in fighting shape and getting that warrior mentality back so I can serve more people and make more impact. So again, appreciate your time in the Warrior Wisdom Walk, as always, at Grosso University. Yes, you are.